So the South Kent Kids Festival is children's literature festival that always keeps at its core three great principles. The first one is a balance between a public program and a school's programs.
The children have freedom, and sometimes adults lost this freedom because adults really want to have a good, real representation, and children don't have this pressure to have a very real, good representation. This is important to try to keep when I made animation or workshop with children, to keep this freedom of imagination.
The second great principle is bilingualism. We make sure that our authors can more or less speak both, but also our volunteers are bilingual. Our audience comes from both sides of the channel and then further on.
Today, when we did the drawings, we didn't really have time to reflect on what we were doing. Because when I illustrate a story, it's slightly different. It was very spontaneous today, and maybe that's more like a child would draw, more spontaneous, I would think.
Quand l'enfant vieillissant n'a plus de mots pour dire d'où il vient, qui il est.
A child is never going to fabricate something. A child is going to create something because even if it's not said, there is anyhow always a necessity, a great need to express that thing at that time in that way, which as a creator you must always look for, which means you are in the act of creation, but always find what is the need, why do I need to say that to these people at that time.
The letter M here. Voilà, super.
The last sort of balance that this festival rests upon is that it's a festival that has at its basis children's books, but they take many forms in this festival. So there are illustration workshops, translation workshops, writing workshops, live illustration on stage, but also plays, theatre. We show films based on children's books. There's a lot of musical interpretation around stories. Storytelling is very important. So even though the object of the book is at the basis of this festival, we try and make it be alive for this week of festivities in November every year.